We'll go ahead and move on to our last bit of news here before our main topic. And this involves the Virtual Boy Nintendo Switch Online Nintendo Classics app, which, if you're listening to this podcast, is now out. And I have had the ability to actually play a little bit of the Nintendo Switch Online Virtual Boy games. Most people that have ordered their headsets have had them come in. Did you order one of these headsets, Daniel? Are you getting a Virtual Boy headset?
I think I'm a little. It's hard to be able to get one right now for one reason, and that reason is money.
Yeah.
It's an expensive headset for a novelty sort of thing. I've seen from my friends who've had it, like it's already been arriving to people who've been who've ordered them, and it's a very faithful replica of the Virtual Boy, as all their accessories are. Like for the controllers, they're very faithful to the original hardware.
Yeah.
I would like to play them in their normal format. I don't know if I have the money or room to have a Virtual Boy sitting around.
Yeah,
it's the problem.
I feel you. I was able to get a pretty good deal on a couple eShop cards, which I turned into purchasing this and also a couple of vouchers. So I tricked myself into saying that I'm saving money by buying this expensive thing. Didn't really probably work out that way, but the mental gymnastics that we do in order to get our treats will never stop surprising me. I will say the emulation is great. And I think the device itself works really, really well when you're talking about using it for Virtual Boy games, right? So I was able to try, Wario Land, the 3D shooter. I forget exactly what that one's called right now, but it's like the space ship shooter. I was playing that one, Galactic Pinball. I played a little bit of that, and Tolero Boxer. So I tried out all of these, and I think they're all playing great. I put them down because I don't want to put too much time into the Japanese versions of the game and actually put those into the US app whenever that comes out. But I will say there have been reports that these headsets are compatible with the VR Switch 1 games, which there were a few that came out back in the Labo days. And I will say that's mostly true. Like, for instance, you are able to stick your face in the Virtual Boy headset and play Breath of the Wild VR, for instance. But it kind of cuts off the HUD. You can't really see all of the UI on the corners because it wasn't designed for that.
I see.
So you can't really see how many hearts you have, or at least where I am in my replay of Breath of the Wild. Maybe if you have more hearts, you could see a little bit more of them on the screen. But
they're forcing the pro mode. I see.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They're forcing the pro HUD by pretty much making it impossible to look at. Also, that game is just, I can't imagine playing that for more than 10 minutes. I got pretty nauseous playing that game in the Virtual Boy headset after about 5 or 10 minutes playing it. So I put that down. But then stuff like, for instance, the Mario Odyssey VR mode, that requires you to look around in VR to get the full effect of that, because it's like a stationary camera. You can't move the stick on that. So with the Virtual Boy headset with the legs, those aren't moving. So you're stuck. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, if you want to play those games and get the cardboard version that is Switch 2 compatible, or just play that on Labo if you can find an old Labo set or something like that. But that was like a little bit of interesting news that I saw online. Just people being like, it works with it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's technically 2 lenses that you can look through, I suppose. I hear Captain Toad plays pretty well, but.
Yeah, I've seen some footage of Captain Toad, or not footage, but I've seen people talking about Captain Toad. Our own John also did a video talking about the Virtual Boy as well.
Right.
And I don't know. I would like to. I'm sure one day I'll be able to get an opportunity to play that, if it's not even like, maybe it's like a demo something at Nintendo World Store or something. Who knows? But I have experience with these games. Right? I had it on my 3DS. So you can do a little bit of tinkering around, and you can make Virtual Boys work pretty seamlessly and flawlessly on there. And I think the 3D slider works excellently with those kind of games. And some of the ones that I played are fantastic. Like Telltale Boxer, you're mentioning that one. I think that's one of the best showcases for the depth that Virtual Boy and 3D can do in that game. I'm really excited for people to play Jack Bros when that comes out.
I love Jack Bros.
Very first Atlas game for Nintendo. No one ever talks about it.
Really amazing soundtrack on Jack Bros as well. I use the I think it's like the 3rd or 4th stage in that game. I made a little remix of that song and have that as my intro music on my Twitch channel. I love that track.
Nice.
Yeah, it's such a great song. But yeah, not every game is out right now. I think it's 5 or 6 games maybe 7 that
Hmm.
are out right now. But it is a pretty good smattering, and I think Wario Land, Virtual Boy Wario Land is certainly the best Virtual Boy game. So at the very least, we have that at
Oh,
launch, and I think it's a
I
great showcase of the 3D as well.
I am going to be excited when Zero Racer comes out. As we
Yes.
mentioned, there were other titles that were Japanese only. And again, with NSO being able to give us the opportunity to play some of these, it's going to
Mhm.
be like Virtual Boy F-Zero, essentially. And
Yeah.
that's all the way up my alley. I need to
So
play that
cool.
one.
So cool that they're doing that. Anytime Nintendo goes into the vault and pulls out that unreleased stuff, that's really, really
Yeah.
exciting, even when it's for a maligned console like the Virtual Boy. I will end this section here with a little bit of unfortunate news. I mean, I think we were all hoping that there would be a good 2D way to play these games in handheld. And I can confirm right now that that is not possible, or at least it is possible, but you're going to be playing with very, very small two screens on the system itself. And I thought with seeing some, preview images and seeing how it's laid out on the screen that you could just kind of double tap that home button to do the magnify that you can normally do with
Yeah.
most games. But whenever the Switch is in VR mode, they turn that ability off. So that is simply not possible to zoom in and fill the screen up with just one of the screens on the Virtual Boy, which is a
Right.
real shame because I think most of these games, they wouldn't be as fun in 2D, but I think that it would definitely be good if they allowed people to play these games without having to buy the expensive headset. Because it's not like, you have to buy the N64 controller to play N64 games on NSO, right?
Mhm.
So I find that to be a little unfortunate. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I had false hope that that would be the case, but it certainly does not seem to be.
Guess I gotta buy a little cardboard attachment to look around with. Man, we need a the Virtual Boy really needs like some kind of strap around your head so you can play
Yes.
other games and not just have to be hunched over your desk to play the
Yeah,
whole thing.
I agree. Or just as we said before, I mean, I just think that this is another good example of why emulation more traditionally is still important, right? I think,
Yeah.
you can have the NSO subscription and pay the subscription fee and still have a hacked 3DS and play these games in a much more comfortable, palatable 2D or 3D mode in handheld. So if you have a hacked 3DS, that is a definitely great way to do that as well.